Welcome to Geek Leak. I'm your co-host, Brandon Connecticut, and this is On Brand with Brandon Connecticut. Coming to theaters May 27th is the Bob's Burgers movie. Now, for those of you unfamiliar with the show or haven't sat down for a full episode before, allow me to explain, to give you the basics of the show, and also explain why it is not really made to be a movie. Bob's Burgers centers around the Belcher family. Parents Bob and Linda, along with 3 kids from oldest to youngest, Tina, Jean, and Luis. The show's plot primarily centers around Bob's restaurant because, the name? Typically with a subplot of a basic coming-of-age story involving the kids, or a quirky story involving Linda. What makes this show relatively unique is it borrows humor heavily from another show H. Jon Benjamin, the show's star voice actor, performed on before. Home movies.
Anything too hard in life is not worth doing. Remember that.
Okay.
Like snowboarding, or martial arts,
Yeah.
pottery.
Right.
Or, math.
It's mostly dry, and it's also realistic in consequences, as well as speech patterns. Over half the plots center around something that would have just been like a little bit on other cartoons, but they make it a major plot because they actually address something like the monetary cost. Like how expensive some antics would actually be if they were to happen in real life.
Oh my God! Joe, I am so sorry. How can you afford these things?
Hit the brakes! Oh my God, it's bad.
I ruined the car.
You did. You really did.
And arrested.
You gotta believe me! I almost always poop in toilets! It was an accident, an emergency!
The show also has a running theme of immature potty humor. For God's sake, their last name is Belcher. And also, like other modern shows, some more heavily than others, they often have the kids in an awkward fashion discussing stuff of a sexual nature.
Touching butts had been banned. She grabbed Jimmy Jr.'s butt.
Now, with all that being said, I'm actually a huge fan of the show. I've watched it several times, especially during lockdown, which is why I know each story barely has the longevity of 30 minutes. Think about it. It's a show about fart jokes, mundane problems made big, and unlikely problems actually treated with real-life implications, with the screaming shrill voices of Eugene Mirman, Kristen Schaal, and the unimpressed but irreplaceable monotone of H. Jon Benjamin for 90 minutes. By the way, did I mention it was a musical? The Simpsons movie wasn't a musical, but there were several of us by the halfway mark saying to ourselves, man, they better keep their promise and end the show after this. Which, I guess, is what I, for one, am kind of scared of. Believe it or not, the show has been around since 2011, going for 12 seasons. Is this movie going to be the grand finale? Or will it keep dragging on, losing more and more relevance as they keep going? Let them go, Disney! Let the Simpsons die with what little dignity they have left! Let them go, devil! Let them go! Well, as for Bob's Burgers, I do hope that the show is an ending, but if it is, then let's hope that they go out with a bang. Just last week on January 11th, CW Network aired the first episode of the new DC hero show, Naomi. For those of you unfamiliar with Naomi, she is the daughter of 2 other superpowered parents or metahumans, and thusly can fly, shoot bursts of energy from her fist, is super strong, and super tough. Wait a minute. Naomi has dope superpowers, is a person of color, and a woman. Hey, could we finally have a non-boring competitor to Superman? No. I wouldn't get your hopes up like that. According to DCTVPodcast.com's interview with star Casey Walfall, I think what separates Naomi from other superhero shows is it looks different than other shows. But I also think it is not just about that she gets powers, and she's super happy. I think that in this show, we explore the pressure of that. Getting superpowers is what she's talking about there. And the pressure of someone putting such a big destiny on someone. I'll level with you folks. I always preferred DC because their best characters were the ones who weren't grossly overpowered. Some of them had powers, but they really didn't have the capability to, thud a whole city with great ease. In fact, the most boring superhero in their catalog was Superman, because he was overpowered. And, well, come on. When he was created, the closest competition for creativity he had at the time was the Scarlet Pimpernel, which was RuPaul if he wanted to save Jeff Bezos when the Peasant Revolt happens. And Popeye, a sailor whose powers were derived from canned vegetables laced with steroids, along with Popeye's arch nemesis, the first ever bearded boy, Bluto. My point is, DC was always one extreme or the other with their superheroes. Overpowered, all action, and no real depth, or some sort of power, extraordinary talents with story-heavy elements, and then Hawk Girl. Naomi has cool superpowers rooted in storylines already laid out in the comics and TV shows. She's a diverse addition without anyone being able to claim she is a result of colorblind casting, and her story is arguably so straightforward and simple, but it isn't cliche. She's a character born from superhero parents, but she's not a next-gen that is hobbled and overshadowed by her lineage. And DC is going to go ahead and make this show the secret world of Alex Mack? What are you even doing, DC? I'm sorry, DC. It's just, I can't keep watching you blow opportunity after opportunity. There's something I need to tell you. I'm seeing Marvel. They are overpowered, but they also now have depth. Loki is trying to f*** himself. Hawkeye is coming out as a weeb version of the Punisher. Spider-Man finally made a decent trilogy that not only didn't fizzle out to trash, but also addressed the crappier versions. DC, even our recent best times were a side story involving a talking shark and a man whose power is shooting polka dots. Justice League needed 4 hours to fix that train wreck that made before. I can't do this anymore. It's over. Alright, moving on then with our sub-segment of On Brand called Weeb Wound Up, woo. Okay. The anime Rent-A-Girlfriend Season 2 will air in July 2022. The show centers on 20-year-old college student Kazuya Kinoshita, who gets himself in a predicament we all know too well. You get yourself an escort to pretend to be your girlfriend so your grandma can have one shining moment she's not disappointed in you before she croaks, but lo and behold, the old bat survives, and you're on the hook constantly hiring a prostitute to keep up the appearances. The money you owe starts piling up, and she threatens to tell her pimp, so you think to yourself, I'm not a killer, but he probably is. Next thing you know it, you're burying a body down by the creek and asking, "Are you happy now, Grandma? Are you happy? Look at your special grandson now, Grandma. Ain't no cookies where this whore is going." Or it is actually much more wholesome and kind of a quirky, funny show. Anyway, now this would be where I would introduce our gaming segment, Cheat Codes with Kody Cogar, but he died. No worries though, he will recover, respawn real soon here. Instead today, we will be talking with co-creator of puzzle card game Monster Deducts, as well as one of the co-founders of the gaming company Pocket Pulp. Please join me today as we talk with Casey Dean. Welcome, Casey, to Geek League.
Hey, Brandon. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us. And so for those who may not know, I met Casey at a tech startup we worked for together in Georgia, and she is by far one of the most driven people I've ever met. She is fantastic. She has so many different interests. She has just a wonderful, lovely personality. Can't help but love her. So she's got big CEO energy. I feel it coming through the screen. I'm kowtowing to her as we speak. So, Casey, thank you so much. I will now let you press X to skip my dialogue and tell us what inspired you to, make this big change and how you guys' company came to be.
So I just have to throw a little side thank you to you for breaking my D&D cherry when we worked together. We had an awesome experience. As far as our game, what inspired us to do it was, we've both been working at the computer for a long time, both in tech. My partner's a developer. I worked in sales and a few other areas. And, we sit in front of the computer all day. And sometimes even if your job is complex, it can still make your brain start to feel dull. And so we wanted to make games to help people fit a little fun into their day, and then also kind of get their brain going, sharpen it, and counteract some of the stuff that we have to do day in, day out that can kind of lead to us being a little dull. So that's what led to Pocket Pulp. And Deducts is our first game.
All right. So, how did you guys come up with the game itself, like Monster Deducts? What led you guys to create it?
So my partner wanted to build a puzzle that could be played one person on one, just one player, and also something that was cards, because we were playing around with the idea. We already had the idea of Pocket Pulp, and we wanted to build games. And coming up with different product ideas, card games is one that came up quickly because it's something that we could manufacture kind of fairly easily and quickly. And so he developed the idea of the puzzle, the structure of how it works. And it's a deduction logic puzzle. And the idea is you have to figure out what monster is underneath your bed. And so he developed the puzzle structure, and then I took the little mock-ups that he did, were nothing more than little pieces of paper with stickers on it. And I went to Fiverr, found an artist, and from there, he did all the artwork. And if you like it, you can find his information on the box and on our marketing materials for the game. But and then from there, we had the game. So it went really quickly. It was interesting. We had the idea of Pocket Pulp in the head for a long time. But from start to finish, designing the concept of the game, I think we had it done in a week and a half.
This is a big leap, and some people that might be watching this may be thinking to themselves, "Oh, I don't think I could be this gutsy. I don't think I could take this sort of chance." Do you have any kind of like nuggets of wisdom, encouragement for someone that may be thinking that?
Yeah. So, I mean, it may look like a big leap, but it's not. This is something that we had talked about for a long time. and we even kind of took a little test run before we even made the leap. So one of the things that we want to do in addition to card games is develop video games too. And so we did a game jam, and we did our own little mini game jam. We picked a theme, and then we spent, I think it was 48 hours, just 2 days, building the game. And I had never done any artwork before, so that was a new experience. My partner had never developed a game with anyone else before, and we successfully did it, and we had fun. And so from there, we decided, yeah, let's give this a shot. If we could get this thing done, it's not perfect, but we got something done. Let's try it. And as far as whether or not to do it, you kind of ask yourself, what's the worst that can happen? Worst that happens, we fail and we have to go back into the job force, but when making those kind of decisions in my life, I ask myself, like, how much am I going to regret this if I don't do it? And if it's a lot, then I just go for it. So that's my advice, but everyone's different.
I got you. Well said. Well said. Casey Dean, I will be including all of her social media information as far as where to find Pocket Pulp Gaming, see what all they will be getting into. Check out their Kickstarter once that gets up and running. I only anticipate amazing things in store, and hopefully, this will make me go viral someday. So, thank you so much, Casey, for joining us on Geek League today.
You're awesome, Brandon. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much. This has been Geek League. Make sure you like and subscribe to our channel, our shows. Also, once again, Pocket Pulp and Casey Dean. My name is Brandon Connecticut, and I don't feel so good, Mr. Stark.